Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Boxstaller. I'm a holistic nutritionist and a certified personal trainer. Today, I want to talk to you about the power of strength training and how it is your key to becoming wildly balanced. And we will talk about what that means. First off, before we get started, here is a little bit about me. I am a certified integrative nutritionist and a personal trainer. I have my bachelor's in exercise physiology. I also work part time in critical care. I help women heal their metabolism and balance their hormones through nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle changes. So, a little bit about my journey. After I had kids, I underwent some crazy hormonal changes. I was putting myself last. Having two energetic kids put me under a lot of stress. And I was trying to keep up with them, and I wasn't properly nourishing my body. My diet pretty much consisted of Starbucks for breakfast, Chick-fil-A, or In-N-Out for lunch. Dinners were usually home cooked, but I was always on the go, taking them out, doing things. And that's fine. It's all fine until it's not. My stress levels eventually reached their breaking point, and I began to suffer from severe anxiety. I was having panic attacks. I was depressed. I had to call to work because my anxiety was so bad. And on top of that, I was having horrible skin issues. As you can see in that picture, my skin was breaking out like a teenager. So I reached out to my doctor and I had her order a ton of lab work and just kind of get some recommendations for her. We ran a ton of labs. We ran thyroid, food sensitivities, all the normal blood work you usually do. Like they took like 9 vials of blood. That's how much different labs we did. But everything looked normal, but obviously things weren't normal. I felt terrible. My doctor appointment ended with her wanting to prescribe me anti-anxiety meds and birth control to balance out my hormones and do some Accutane. In the time I was in my holistic health program, and I knew that this was just a Band-Aid. So I did not do anything that they suggested. And I kind of use this as my motivation for my new wellness journey. So through education, consistent habits, I learned how to properly restore my metabolism and heal my body from within naturally. So my presentation is about strength training to become wildly balanced. But what does that mean and what does that look like? So this is all about having consistent energy levels. So without the need for caffeine, you sleep restful throughout the night. You wake up feeling refreshed. You have nice stable moods without anxiety or irritability. You have resilience to stress and you're able to handle it without feeling overwhelmed. You can maintain optimal weight without dieting. You experience regular digestion and elimination without discomfort, bloating, or irregular bowel movements. Your body effectively manages your blood sugar levels, reducing the risk of insulin resistance and conditions like diabetes or PCOS. And you have a regular menstrual cycle. So you don't have any pain, irregularity, PMS. This is all a sign of hormone balance and also fertility. And you have clear skin, so your skin appears clear and radiant without chronic acne or other skin issues. You have strong hair and nails. So strong hair, your hair is shiny, not dull. Your nails are strong and they grow well. Basically, your body is able to function optimally how it should. So maybe you read that list and you're like, wow, I'm experiencing X, Y, and Z. So now what do I do and why is this happening? So I want you to think of it on the cellular level. So it all comes down to whether or not our cells have the energy to do their job. And this is all based upon our metabolism. So Metabolism 101 crash course. So when we eat food, the carbs that we consume, they get broken down into glucose. The fats we consume get broken down to fatty acids, and the proteins that we consume get broke down into amino acids. And these are all smaller molecules that get used by our cells. And glucose will further get broken down in the cell and it gets sent into our mitochondria to produce energy. If you remember from microbiology, mitochondria is the energy producers of our cell. So every function in our body requires energy, and we need our cells to function optimally so that we can produce energy. So when our mitochondria don't have the right materials or conditions, they cannot function properly. So energy can't be produced. All of our organs are made up of trillions of cells, and all those cells have mitochondria. And this might affect different systems within our body differently. So for me, my skin was affected. For someone else, it might be their female sex hormones. So movement signals to the cells that they need to produce more energy for the muscles to do the work. So exercise stimulates our body to generate antioxidant molecules. So some things like chronic overnutrition, nutritional deficiencies, microbiome issues, sedentary lifestyles, chronic stress, medications, lack of sleep, toxins, etc. This can all affect how our mitochondria work. So it affects the mitochondria, which is inside our cells. Our organs are made up of hundreds, thousands of cells. So everything comes down to these things. So how does strength training fit into this? Well, the more muscle we have, the more metabolic flexibility we have, meaning we can adapt and use the food that we eat for fuel. So muscle is an organ, and it helps prevent glucose spikes after eating carbs because muscles love carbs. It is a storage site for carbs. So there's studies that show that the more muscle mass we have, the more sensitive we are to insulin. So insulin's job is to allow glucose into the cells. It's like a little key. It opens up the cells and it lets the glucose go in the cells. But when we are insulin resistant, our liver, muscle, and fat cells don't respond to the insulin anymore. So the insulin will come up, it'll knock on the cell's door, but the cell's like, I'm not answering it. And so the glucose ends up just staying in our bloodstream and it builds up, and this leads to diabetes. So most people, when they think of strength training and building muscle, women fear of getting bulky, but we don't have the necessary hormones to get bulky. But there are so many other rules to skeletal muscle besides building, that six pack. Our muscle is one of our largest organs. And some of the roles it has is it helps metabolize glucose, like we've talked about earlier. And that is crucial for reversing insulin resistance. So many women who have hormonal imbalances deal with insulin resistance. It is also provides protection to our vital organs. So the muscle, it lines our vital organs. The more muscle we have, the more armor and protection we have against our vital organs. And then it helps with our balance and posture. So if you notice, older people, as they age, they kind of slouch over, they get that hump back. So they're essentially losing muscle mass and bone density. So it is our goal as we're younger to work on that now and help start building muscle so that way we can have more independence as we age. We can have a better posture, which will help with pain and other things down the road as well. And it also helps improve bone density. So we have to load the bones to help build that bone density. It helps improve mental health and cognition, and it also has anti-aging effects. So I don't know if you've ever tried this, but have you ever been feeling down and you did a kick-ass workout and you immediately felt better? Well, working out increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, and this promotes the growth of brain tissue and lowers the rate of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So if you're feeling down, just do a little workout and notice how you feel right after. It also has those anti-aging effects. Besides reversing age-related bone and muscle loss, it increases anti-aging hormones and stimulates anti-aging changes in the cells. So let's talk about strength training versus cardio. So cardio is great for your heart and lungs. It helps your heart become more efficient, taking in oxygen and supplying it to every part of your body. So we definitely need cardio in our life. It helps our heart pump harder and faster. But if we're a cardio queen, this can hurt us down the road. So in the beginning, you start running, you burn a ton of calories, you lose a ton of weight. But if you want long-term results, you're going to have to strength train. Over time, our bodies will adapt and they become efficient at burning less calories for survival purposes. So when our body is exposed to a stressor, so take cardio, for example, our body tries to become more resilient. So with cardio, our bodies will try to hold on to calories, slowing down our metabolism by reducing muscle mass. So our bodies are smart and they learn how to use less energy for the same activity. So if you make the correct exercise selection, you can actually speed up your metabolism. So our lean muscle mass also decreases 3% per decade after 30. So it's very important that we start building muscle now because it'll give us our independence as we age. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about exercise and hormonal health since we're women here and we deal with hormonal issues. So I feel like exercise selection is important. So like I've stated before, exercise is a stressor and it depletes your body of energy and demands for more. And although it's a stressor, it isn't bad. We just have to build resilience to those stressors before going all out and joining a really high intensity gym, like Orange Theory or F45 when we have never worked out and done a structured program before. So if you're dealing with hormonal imbalances or your stress levels are high intensity exercises or long distance runs might not be right for you. So a good rule of thumb would be to exercise to the point where you begin to lose your breath, but not fully. When you do an intense workout, hormones like estrogen and cortisol may rise. And our goal is to feel better, not exhausted. So when I usually give my clients workouts that are dealing with these hormonal imbalances, I do strength training, but I include long rest periods. So expose yourself to that stressor and then give yourself time to rest and recover. So where do you start? Well, I love compound movements that work large muscle groups that are very similar to our daily movements. So things to include would be like squat movements, hinge movements, such as a deadlift, pushing movements, pulling movements, and lunges. So how heavy? So I can get into the principles of progressive overload, but to make things simple, pick up a weight, whether that be dumbbells, barbells, whatever it is, lift it 8 times. And if you can go more than 8, then go heavier. If you're having trouble doing the last couple with good form, well, that's probably a good starting point for you. You always want to focus on improving each week and repeat each lifts multiple weeks so you can improve and get better and get stronger. And then what you do for the rest of the 24 hours matter. So workout is only 1 hour of your day. What you do with the rest of the day matters. So make sure that you're getting enough movement throughout the day. You're sleeping well, going to bed at a reasonable time. I like going to bed at the same time every night, making sure I'm getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and then eating a nice balanced diet with nutrient-dense foods, making sure that we are controlling our stress levels, and then how are our hormones? How is our gut health? Are we digesting our food? Are we having regular bowel movements? These are all the things that matter. So thank you so much for coming to my talk on the importance of strength training to help us become wildly balanced. If you would like more information or if you would like to work more with me, these are some ways that you can contact me. I help women who are struggling with hormone imbalances and sluggish metabolisms who want to find their power and healing through nutrition, fitness, and stress management. Thank you so much.